This episode is sponsored by Knots and Tangles Hair Salon. Call Terry at 724-222-3391 to schedule your next appointment. Welcome to America, period. Presenting this community interview with Wash Arts, featuring your host, Matt Sweets, with special guest, Allison Evans, Executive Director. Welcome to America, period. Your source. Follow and subscribe for free on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and more. Proudly made in the USA. Hi, I'm Matt Staniszewski, and this is America Period. I'm here with Allison Evans, Executive Director of Wash Arts, bringing the arts back to Main Street. We're roughly right across from Mark Kennison's 19 North. This is so exciting. And I see you have some juice there. What's up with that first, actually?
Oh, yeah. This is juice from my friend Sandy, her Desire to Be Well juicery. And I had an extra one and I was thirsty. And I was like, it's really good. It's made with green apple, English cucumber, and lemon. Sounds
delicious. I'm actually going to see Sandy soon. So I can't wait to try out some of her products and so forth. So, Allison, why bring back Wash Arts?
Well, it started last June.
Okay.
And I wanted to have an art show somewhere. And I didn't want to drive to Pittsburgh. And that's pretty much what it boils down to. And I thought, why shouldn't we have something here for us? Why should we have to, drive 45 minutes, on a good day with minimal traffic and minimal, hardship?
Sure. I mean, with like you said, with traffic, sitting on the Green Tree Hill, parking, having to pay for parking. I mean, the list can go on and on.
Exactly. And I mean, I know Pittsburgh has a vibrant art scene, but we don't. And there's been attempts in the past. There was the Artist Co-op. There was the first Wash Arts, which was amazing.
Yes.
That started, I believe, in 2001 and went to 2014.
It was actually earlier than that because, actually, I think you're right because I got on city council in 2006 and I was still working. I was working heavily with the original founder of Wash Arts. And I know it went on for a couple more years after that. But you probably have it better probably than I do. So I would imagine.
Yeah. And I know for a fact when it ended because I did teach at the end there.
Okay.
So 2013, 14, I was teaching fashion illustration there in the Lemoyne Center. At that point, I had probably about 50 different jobs under my belt, 2 degrees, one in general studio art from Westminster and another in fashion design from the Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale. So
nice.
I've always been trying to encompass my life with art.
Sure.
And I was a wedding photographer for years. I made my own jewelry. I've even sold knives door to door.
Really?
I waitressed for almost 20 years. And I finally got to the point where I was just compelled that I had to have an art show. And I didn't want to go anywhere but where I was from, where I live, and where my fellow community members deserve something as well.
Sure.
It's not, just for me, it's for everyone. In fact, I'm having just a bunch of artists, especially female artists, come out of the woodwork, connect with me.
Good.
I'm kind of being the person I wish I had 20 years ago.
Okay.
So
you're kind of mentoring the next generation,
I'm also collecting some older, more experienced artists than me, so I'm also getting mentored.
Sure.
So it's
It's a
beautiful-
win-win on every
really
angle.
is.
Yeah.
It really is.
I do have $1 million question though. I mean, considering you have formal training in fashion, does it pass?
10 out of 10.
All right, just
I love the paisley shirt. This is picking up the reds.
all right, just making sure there. You know, as long as I have your seal of approval, you know, I'm happy. So, and I don't want to call it really a quote reboot, but what's different this time?
Well, like the old Wash Arts, we're going to be doing classes for all ages, abilities, and income levels. It's going to be a community arts center first and foremost, but we're also doing, there's a couple different things. We have a residency program in
Really?
the mix for 2026. And that's actually kind of what got me started bringing back Wash Arts. Like I said, I was looking for a place to have an art show, and I'm like, I need to be somewhere for like a whole month to suss out my ideas, to really get into it, to plan things out. I was like, and then there should be like a big fancy art show dinner, like that everybody should be enjoying food and enjoying my art.
I'm a
Like,
foodie. You had me.
me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
absolutely.
So then I thought, why not add in a chef in residency? So then there would be making that multi-course meal for the art show. And then I started to meet people. More ideas started to tumble. I added in a designing coordinator, somebody that would be good at graphic design, social media, interior design,
Nice.
because I know I couldn't do it all. So
Sure.
somebody would have to do all that kind of stuff for them. And then I started to talk to Mark Kennison and the Dreamers, and they were talking about the music program that they're putting in down at the IC Church.
Oh, the building that's right across from there. Good.
Convent.
Yes, the old convent. I actually went to JFK, so
Okay.
yeah, it was the convent when I was still there. But no, it's good to see that building is getting repurposed
Yeah.
and used for a great cause
I
too.
was in there, and it was just beautiful. They were telling me that they were going to the top floor to teach trades in high school. They were going to people in the trades teach that. So Wash Arts might even be teaching in that space at one point.
Excellent.
So, but with that meeting, we brought a musician in residency as well into the idea. And so they're going to function as a cohort. The main goal, putting on this art show gala
Okay.
every 2-3 months or so as the residents change.
Sure.
But also they're going to do pop-ups right across the street at 19 North.
Mhm.
Mark Kennison's letting us use that space. And the chef in residency is going to be making something new, unique, different than just what you can always get.
And you know, I'm glad you mentioned that.
Just 1 second.
Okay. All right.
The chef.
Oh wait, there's more.
Yeah, the chef in residency is something unique. The artist will be actively creating and interacting with the public during those pop-up lunches or dinners. The musician will be playing, and the associate designer will be bringing it all together. You know, setting the scene, helping create the menus,
Oh, I love it.
taking the money.
Yeah, absolutely. Where I was going with that, because, you know, if you get a Michelin star, let's be real, part of it's not only the technique and the flavor, it's also a huge part is the presentation.
Yeah.
It's an art piece in itself.
Yes.
So I'm very excited to see chef in residency as well. That's awesome, and really the entire package that you're putting together with these individuals.
Yeah. And we're right up here on North Main Street. And North Main Street's come a long way, but it has a long way to come as well.
Yes.
So we got our nonprofit charter in August of
Okay.
last year. And by mid-October, we were in this space. JD Winery let us hang out here while they were deciding if they wanted to move forward or not.
Okay.
And then so we took over the lease the first of the year. And I will tell you, just a class here and there wasn't quite cutting it to pay for this beautiful space.
Sure. I mean,
And
it's
all
a
the
it's a
utilities.
vast space. It's
yeah.
huge. Yes.
So we transferred to an art cafe concept.
Mm-hmm.
And so that way, on Fridays from 5 to 10 and on Saturdays from noon to 10, you can walk in with your family, your friends, your children, and you can choose whatever type of art you want to do. each individual. So you could do acrylic painting. I could do charcoal. Somebody else could learn how to make a fashion illustration, and we could all be talking and chatting. And it would be when we were free to come in. We wanted to come in. I'm really trying to book live music here those times the
Nice.
art cafe's open, as well as food trucks in the back. I didn't get every single session booked, but I'd say 3/4 of them. We've had some awesome food trucks here.
Yes, you did. The chicken was amazing, and I'm not a big chicken person. That was very delicious.
Special. One
Yes.
bite really would change your life. That's
Yes.
Jeffrey Patterson's Peas Bird Wagon.
Yes.
Right there.
Great man. Yes.
Yeah, Keith Williams have been up here a couple times. Oh, his ribs out of this world. So his potato salad.
I have to get on the new mailing list here.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, you do. And this weekend coming up, we have salt and pepper food truck. So that'll be
Interesting. You know, and I like that, you know, because a lot of different studios, they'll have like a class and you do this one thing. You know, I've done like glass blowing over in Pittsburgh, and, you know, you're making, let's say, a pumpkin or a Christmas ornament or something. I like the fact that you have this, it is a cafe where you can bring your entire family, or you can bring a group of friends. And like you said, if you want to try acrylic painting and I want to do something stenciling or something.
Exactly. Yeah. Everybody can do something different. And, you know, I think we were running into some issues. Oh, well, I don't want to paint that particular painting on that particular day,
Right.
at that particular time. All those problems are gone. Like, and it's more of a community atmosphere as well.
Mm-hmm.
We had Ryan Zidek performing this
Okay.
past weekend, and my niece, she was so excited. She's 5. And
Oh, how nice.
I had a harmonica that I took out, and we discovered she is like a musical protege on the harmonica.
Nice.
We were all like, and we're like, you guys like,
at
like
5 years old, that's,
yeah, like me and my sister tried it. We were terrible.
yeah, you don't want me to
Holy
try that, you know.
Maybe I can include some video of it.
Yeah, please send some over. Send some over. And I heard you had a great turnout on Saturday too. That's fantastic.
Really
That,
good.
you know, words, it sounds like words are really starting to spread.
It's starting to spread, yeah,
Good.
which is exciting and great.
Good. And so, because you've only been technically really in operation just a short amount of time now.
Yeah, we actually opened on my grandpa's birthday, the anniversary of his birthday,
Nice.
February 7th. He was the hardest working man I know, and so I wanted to open on his birthday as like, because I've never worked harder or anything than this right here. For
Nice.
The last almost year.
That is awesome. Now, okay, I have $1 million question here regarding, you know, look, I can produce music, I can DJ, obviously cinematography, but beyond that, hey, I'm lucky I can draw a stick figure. So, you know, when you work with or the novice, that's, you know, I love the arts, and there's tons of people that love the arts, but they feel intimidated, perhaps. What do you say to someone like me, or you know, someone is similar in the similar situation?
I say detach yourself from the outcome of what it's going to look like.
Okay.
Enjoy the process. Enjoy the creative process for what it is. You might get better at it. You might still suck at it.
Fair.
But did you have fun? Is what I'll ask people a lot of the time. Did you have fun? Was it a good experience? Did you learn something new? You know, and I mean, for a couple bucks, you know, it's an easy way to explore parts of your creativity that you might have never touched on. You might find your new favorite thing. I also have some things that are almost like a fail-safe, like fluid painting is a really fun thing to do.
I'm not familiar with.
So you add some additives in acrylic paint.
Okay.
And mix them all up real good. Drop a silicone oil, and then there's a bunch of different techniques. One of the easiest ways is to just get like a cup and pour all the different colors in this cup.
Okay.
And then you turn it over on a canvas, and then the paint is fluid. It moves, and
that sounds pretty cool.
it's an awesome experience. And
I think I want to try that. Yeah.
Yeah, we could actually.
And it's
all set up for tomorrow. We have a yoga fluid painting collaboration with Indigo on Main. So you can always try it out.
Oh,
It's in the back.
I love it. That is very cool.
It'll just be $25.
No problem. No problem.
We got to keep it fun, right?
Yeah,
We got to laugh.
absolutely. Hey, you have to keep the lights on. It's nothing in the world is technically free. Everything does cost money. So that's why we need to support the arts. That's why I'm very happy to see this back on Main Street. This is so exciting. What has been some of the biggest challenges so far in
the biggest
getting
challenge
this going?
has been money, like hands down money. I've applied for some grants, but the thing is, I've used a ton of my own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I can, and I bought a little bit of stuff with like some fundraisers that we've done and stuff, like all the paint and the canvases and everything. But it seems like everything I'm finding only wants to give me money if it's like a program somebody can put their name on. Like programmatic funds, they won't fund operational funds, which
is typical for.
It's typical, but I'm also like, it's annoying. And I'm just
no, that's fair.
And I'm just putting that out there that, to stay here, there has to be a place to go, a place to stay,
right.
a place to come. And so that's one of my biggest challenges so far. And along with finding people to help me, I found a lot of people, but sometimes at one point it's me disseminating that info to them to show them how to help me, which is because the executive director of a nonprofit I'm just in a million different ways.
I mean, let's be real. Before you got here for the interview, I mean, you've been running around the county all day. So, yes, it's a very demanding job, and especially starting out very recently, right?
Yeah.
Very understandable. Aside from obviously the money, and finding volunteers that, and correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like you just need someone to grab that ball and just run with it. Is that fair?
I need to get somebody like a second in command.
I got
like
you.
All thoroughly trained up on all programs and
sure.
Take that from.
How can aside from money, how can people just in general that say, like a senior citizen who's retired, and they want to give back to the community. Like,
well, we definitely just need people here on Art Cafe nights.
Okay.
Helping just like check people in, getting them the supplies they need. If I have to go somewhere for a while, knowing that somebody's here taking care of business.
Sure.
Maybe could get people trained up, get myself a weekend off.
I think you earned one or two of those so far.
I'm definitely planning on going to visit my sister in August, so I'm definitely going to need.
You're going to need a little time, yes, to decompress,
and and get some people trained up, and because I do want to be open every weekend. I do want this to be a place where people know that they can come, they can hang out, they can start to build the community they want, an artistic, creative community with an eye towards the creative economy.
And I'm glad you mentioned the creative economy, because the arts, in my opinion, they're always tied back to STEM, which is eventually became STEAM. Your science, your technology, and engineering and mathematics. You have to. That creativity helps spur innovation in a lot of those areas.
It really does.
So it's another tie into really and helping our community here in Washington, the school district, God bless them, but there's only so much that the school district can do.
Right. And I mean, arts and music funding is always the first to go when they're
sadly, yes.
When they're defunding anything.
Mm-hmm.
And those teachers are limited. But a place like this really could provide a home to some kids that really need a place for creative outlets, as well as adults. Like, there's a mental health epidemic in our country.
Hey, I have a therapist that I freely admit that. And yes, mental and emotional health, it's grown more prevalent, in my opinion, with social media, and then COVID just exacerbated that issue. So,
not to mention, like, the community unit has been kind of decimated, you know, and they've got us down to the smallest unit that we can be, and community as a whole. We need to find our community. Another reason I'm starting all this is because I've traveled to Europe, I've traveled to Mexico, and I see these town squares, these community places. People gather on a nice day. They all sit there. They're eating together. Babies are running around. Old folks are teaching young kids life lessons, or just laughing at jokes, or existing. They're all existing together. We're not just zoned out to a TV. And that is actually the next step in my plan for Wash Arts and North Main Street in Washington in general.
Do tell.
So right across the street, we do have 19 North.
Yes.
Then there's the spot where the building fell down. And then there is the Ironsides building.
Formerly known as Brothers Pizza, for those that...
I was going to say that. And then I was like, no, the new name.
I know. But you know, for...
Yeah.
I think that's a southwestern Pennsylvania thing. They don't say, make a right on, Chestnut Street. They say, oh yeah, look for the second.
Right. You remember where Sharp's Furniture was?
Right.
We're gonna turn right past there. Yeah. But yeah, and that building, the top floor was the original Wash Arts.
Yes, gorgeous up there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Mark is going to build it was a hotel, but now it's changed a little bit, and I have to get used to telling it in this new way, the new information I just got. It's going to be, I think, apartments on the top and Airbnbs on the bottom, and still going to have a rooftop bar, which is very fun.
Very cool.
And then across the street, the Crossroads parking garage.
Yes.
Once the city built it so it can be built upon. And also, there's been talk by the city of putting a bridge from that parking garage to poke out right on North Main.
I can attest to that because I was on city council when we first started discussing that. So, yes.
So
I'm glad to hear that's still, at least on the radar. Good.
Well, I'm trying to put it on everybody's radar.
Good.
So
good.
Once those things happen, then I want to close this block of North Main Street down permanently. I want to prioritize people over pavement. I want to put a stage up near the courthouse, an interactive fountain like they have in Love Park, seating, shade, gazebos, somewhere that our city has a green space, a heart, a third place where people can gather, like they can gather in squares.
Sure.
And, Europe, Mexico. I also, at the focus group today, I brought this up at the Washington County Community Foundation, and the moderator said they have a lot of spots like that out west as well. I think we deserve a spot like that here. Why shouldn't we have community where we live, where we shop? And this area has such a rich history. Like, we used to be the Western frontier when our country was just being
home of the Whiskey Rebellion.
Home of the Whiskey Rebellion.
Yes.
JFK spoke on the steps of our courthouse. Like, there's a lot of really awesome things about our town.
A lot of very noteworthy individuals stayed at the historic George Washington Hotel. Yes, Washington is rich with history.
Yeah. And as a history minor from Westminster, the tagline I've been saying about Wash Arts in regards to Washington is we are, embracing the past while stepping boldly into the future.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And I remember way back early in my political career, we actually went on a tour with W&J College down to like Cumberland, Maryland. And there was another spot, goodness, I can't remember what town it was, but they did shut down their main street. And it was thriving with, artists even, living on upper floors. It it was a thriving community,
Blight.
nice little restaurants, you know.
Exactly. Blight came up a lot in today's focus group as
I'm
well on
sure.
the economy. And just imagine all the, there is a decent amount of abandoned shops on this block. And
I like to call them opportunities.
yeah, opportunities. And I'm looking at every single one of them as an opportunity for a small, another type of studio, and I really, really want to get a ceramic studio on this block in North Main.
Cool.
And I want it to be open from 8 a.m. till midnight. I want it to be half structured classes, half open studio staff, people that know what they're doing and can help you. To circle back around to our, the mental health that we were touching on.
Yes.
If you think about it, if you get upset or something, a common refrain is to go out and ground. Take your shoes and socks off, stand on the earth, take some big, deep breaths, and just feel the electromagnetic current of that. And, there's been studies that it is proven to calm you.
It does. It's a technique I've used before.
Me
so,
as well.
yes.
And you just know you feel so much better after, say, you go camping for a weekend or something, coming back from all that fresh air, that nature.
Well, Allison, I mean,
Hold on.
kind of like the glamping, but
I kind of glamping as well. I'm definitely not hiking.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. But so clay is earth. And we are clay rich. It is actually our birthright in this area.
Really? I did not know that.
Well, if you think about it, our soil is so clay rich. And then when Meadowcroft Village, when the rock shelter was dated, one way they helped date that site, one of the oldest in North America, was through some of their clay artifacts. And so people in this area have been using this natural clay that we could go and harvest, and for millennia in this area. So why is modern day Washington, why is it impossible to do any type of ceramics in this vicinity? There might be some places where you could go more geared towards kids, paint a pot, get that fired. But I'm talking about getting your hands in it, making some beautiful sculptures,
Sure.
making vessels.
And how cool to use the clay and the materials right here from our area.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all hometown.
I don't know how to do it, but I know it is possible.
Don't ask. Like I said, I'm a stick figure person.
Yeah.
I mean, beyond that, but
I bet you could dig up some clay.
I hear it's kind of hard to dig up to begin.
As a gardener, yeah, it is.
Yes. Okay. Gardening wise, yes, it is. I tried to do a garden a few years back, and it lasted for 3 years. But
that's what my husband and I did during COVID. We built this whole garden area, and it was all, since we're right in the middle of town, my backyard's like this, and there's a deer trail in there. So
cool.
We had it all fenced in and stuff. It's like a little enclosure. It's pretty cute.
That is cool. Very cool. And very green and sustainable, which I love as well. Now, Allison, you're originally from Washington.
Yeah, I grew up in Avella.
Okay.
Born and raised. I moved away a little bit for college, up to Westminster, just an hour north of Pittsburgh. And
I used to work for the city of Newcastle. So, yes, I used to partner with Westminster College quite often. Beautiful campus, yes.
I loved it.
Wonderful people there.
I loved it. I love the campus. I love the people. I love the education I got.
It's
awesome experience.
It's a great place. Now, and you also mentioned the fashion arena. Is that going to be part of one of these fundraisers or galas as well? I mean,
it's.
I have no problem, going down the catwalk. I mean, I'm good.
Oh yeah, okay. I'll put you on for a moment.
Put me on. Yes, I'm in.
Yeah. Well, in Wash Arts, I really wanted to have a sustainable bent as well. So I do have plans. I don't know if it'll be for this year, but maybe next year. But a recycled fashion show where everything you make is out of reclaimed thing. We don't want you going and buying all these garbage bags and making all this stuff. We want you to maybe use the tops of soda tabs, or I've seen girls fold Starburst into a prom gown. or you could go to,
Really? Now that,
yeah, it's really neat. It's really neat. Or you could go to Hidden Treasures or Goodwill and get something to completely reinvent and make modern. And so I'm really excited about that.
I have some friends, they'll drive around if they see like a old cabinet or something, they'll grab it up and just completely refinish it and, paint it certain colors or add, different features to it. And it looks amazing. Like, and I could see it being sold in stores for a premium for, what they, ended up having to quote pay for, aside from the love and the sweat that they put into it. Obviously that's priceless, but.
Right. Well, and this building used to be a gallery, and there are probably at least 500 catalogs of a gallery that's not,
Right.
solvent anymore. And so we brung them up and we put them on our collage bar. So you can, we're trying to give things a different life, keep them out of the landfill, and bring attention to the fact that we have a very consumer driven economy.
Yes, we do.
So to look for places to put center, making something out of things that others would consider trash and turning that into fine art. What a fun challenge.
Well, I've seen communities where, in their town square or whatnot, where they have huge, amazing works of art, all made out of, quote, trash.
Right.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And well, when we do start the residency program, that will be one of the requirements for the artists when they start to make something out of something others perceive as trash. And so that it says something about your point of view on that.
And it's great for the earth. Like you said, it's very green. It's not filling up those landfills. And, one person's trash is another person's treasure, as you know. And
we're going to have to use that tagline for for when we have classes like
I'll
that.
license it. I'll license it to you. No problem. No problem at all.
For free.
Now, for the time being, your Wash Arts is open just on the weekends, or is there anything going on during the week?
There's some things going on during the week.
Okay.
We have a intro to acrylic painting with Diane Adams, and she is.
And these are more structured type
More
settings.
structured type of class.
So like the cafe would be more on the Friday and Saturday, and then you have more structured programming during the week.
And I have been trying to have a painting on Saturday as well. So if you did want to go through a structured painting, there'd be a 2-hour structured painting you could sign up for.
Okay.
If you wanted to be a part of that. So this upcoming Thursday, we're pairing with Indigo and we're doing a fluid art, fluid yoga class. Next week, there's a cute little shamrock with our youngest soon-to-be board member, Caitlin.
Nice.
And that one's only $25. And then we have an intro to acrylics class, spring equinox community potluck on the 20th.
So that's a potluck, like we're talking food here now, right?
We're talking food. Put it on your calendar.
Yeah. What day is that? I'm gonna have to write that one.
20th, 5 to 10. We are asking for like a $5 donation as well from everyone. And then
I did see that on Facebook. I did notice that, and I remember bookmarking that. I'm like, I think I need to check that out.
I think we're going to try to do that once a month. Some kind of like potluck community, like get to know your neighbors, get to know your community, get to know other artists.
I love it. I mean, because we are the most connected and disconnected. Yes, you read my mind. Society these days, and so bring it back to that. I like to feel and touch and connect with people on in a community type of basis. Social media doesn't offer that.
No, that's not good.
The computer, the tablets, the TV, Netflix and chill can only go on for so long, so.
And I just keep hearing the vibes here are immaculate, so.
You have
some immaculate vibes.
Right.
Create something, eat something new, listen to new music. Discover new people.
You're speaking my language here,
I think I'm speaking a lot of people's languages, which is why I know this is going to succeed. And I'm gonna hold the fort down for as long as I need to. But anybody watching want to give a little donation, it would be welcome and thanked.
Oh, and that's a great question. Do you have like Venmo, or how could people donate aside from handing you cash or writing you a check, or what's
Well, our website, washarts.design.
okay?
And just to be clear, no .com on the end of that.
Okay, so it's washarts.design. All right,
Just like somebody else, the new .coms.
right.
Like
They have so many extensions at this
yeah.
point, right?
So you go to washarts.design and we have a button to donate, and
Good.
everything gets processed through Zephy, so you don't have to worry about if you pay online or with a card that we lose any transaction fees. We keep all the money through Zephy, so that's a nice, easy way to
That
donate.
is nice, yes.
And if you don't have extra money to donate, we could always use your time down here.
Which I'm also a certified grant writer, and that in kind is huge.
Oh, we love in-kind
Huge.
around here.
In
Yeah.
kind helps with those grants. So definitely come on and help, because the dollar amount they put on an individual's time it's pretty significant per hour. So
Very cool.
Yes.
See, I'm learning new stuff too.
I don't know. Great minds think alike.
That's right. Well, speaking of making money, our fundraiser is
Yes.
scheduled for May 31st. I don't have a time yet, but we're going to be at the Wild Things.
Okay.
There's going to be a basket auction. So speaking of in-kind, I am looking for basket auction items, and it'll be right at the front gate. So whether you're coming or for, our fundraiser, or just coming to see the Wild Things.
Say that again.
Whether you're coming for our fundraiser or coming to see the Wild Things, you could bid on any of those baskets.
And the proceeds all go to Wash Arts.
Proceeds all go to Wash Arts. And for $35, you will get a ticket for the baseball game and for like a picnic lunch with Pepsi products and a dessert.
Nice.
And stuff, and we'll be on the patio right off the balcony.
Okay, well, that's a great fundraiser. I would imagine. I don't know what day that is. I would imagine
Saturday.
probably. Okay, so that could be usually I think the Wild Thing games are in the evening.
I believe it is in the evening, yeah. And you get the exclusive.
Wait, there's
the
more.
I'm gonna throw the first pitch out. The ceremonial
We are
pitch.
definitely going to be there for that.
Yeah. Now I have a confession. So I played basketball in high school, and when I would get fouled and I go up to the line, it would only go one of two ways. Nothing but net or air ball. So we'll see.
So this could go any which way possible.
My husband is worried I'm going to injure the third baseman.
Wait, the third baseman.
Yeah. Same when I go bowling. Strike or gutter ball. So
That's
sometimes his hand just does what it wants.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's how my bowling usually goes too. So
Yeah, so fingers crossed, but I figure even bad press is good press, right? Even if he said you can't be as bad as 50 Cent. Evidently 50 Cent did a terrible pitch once, so I don't know.
I've seen a few. You could do better than I could, trust me, because I have no sports genes whatsoever. I got all the awesome genes. My brother has all the sports genes. That's kind of how it all broke down. So I'm sure you're going to rock it. Any which way, hey, it could go viral.
Could.
You never know.
I'm cool for that.
An extra fundraiser.
Yeah, there we go.
Now, so you mentioned you have a new board member coming on, your youngest, Caitlin.
Yeah.
And I know Sandy quite well. I've known her for a very long time. She's on your board.
Yeah.
She and I actually been talking behind your back a little bit.
Okay.
All positive. So I've expressed how excited I am that this is taking place and reviving this. Who else is on your board?
George Slager's my president of my board.
Okay.
He's been with me since I ran into him last Pride at the Wild Things Stadium.
Okay.
Speaking of that, so he's been a great help. I also have Zari Price and Graham Gray. Their secretary and vice president, and my treasurer is Wendy Bertner from Nonprofit Sidekick.
Nice.
And Diane Adams, the muralist
I knew that. Okay.
Yeah, she's done a ton of murals in Claysville
Okay.
and that.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. Where's Caitlin from? Is she from this area?
Yeah, she's from right in Washington.
Good. All right. I love that.
Cleveland County girl.
Who else has been really instrumental in getting this going?
Ignite has been very helpful. I took their
Right. You were
in their this past cohort,
right.
and I won 3rd place.
Awesome. Congrats.
Thank you. And so that was amazingly eye-opening. I've had so much help. I'm going to feel terrible if I don't mention.
I'm sure you have. That's why, I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that per
okay.
se. Just, just recognize.
Mark Kennison. I don't want to not mention him though.
Right.
Like, he has been.
Mark has always been very good to the community in general, and just happy to see that y'all are working together as well.
Yeah.
I think it's a great marriage of resources and again, reviving Main Street and reviving and bringing the arts back to our community.
Yeah. Downtown Shana Brown introduced us. She's like, Mark has to hear what you want to do.
Right.
And the first day I met Mark, he said, I've been looking for someone to bring back Wash Arts. He said, I'm not an artist. I couldn't do it. I said, well, you've met your girl. Like, I'm here. I'm bringing it back. Closing down the street. We're doing all this stuff.
All right, Mark, I'm in the same boat as you, man. I can draw just the stick figure. That's the best I can do. So, like I said, I can produce.
But everyone
music.
can fluid paint.
Yes, I'm in on that one.
Yeah.
I like that. That sounds very cool. And so, what does the end product look like after it's like?
That's one in the corner right
Okay. Okay. I love it.
I have a lot of fluid paintings in this middle room here.
Nice. Is there anything else you really like to get out there, Allison? Anything else you'd like to share or tell our folks?
Just come down and experience this for yourself. It's a good time. Like Matt, he's self-proclaimed not good at art. You know what?
I own it.
And well, you were here the other day. You still had fun.
I had a great time. Absolutely.
Yeah. So even if you're not good at art, there's like a $10 hangout fee that you could just, pay, come down and listen to the music, like a cover charge, but why not try something out? Why instead, while you're here, try something new, develop some new pathways in your brain and get your mental health in a fun, community-driven way.
That is huge. Again, the mental and the emotional health aspect of it, that I might have painted once or twice in my life, and it was, I found it very therapeutic.
Yeah,
so.
it really is. And speaking of our mutual friend,
the picture,
Sandy.
Yes.
She sent me the coolest, interestingest video the other day.
Interestingly list.
But she said, the video said, creativity unused metastasize. So that really got me and made me think how much of what's happening in society is just because we only have time to do the 9 to 5, take the kids to practice, and then, something quick for dinner, and then you're just in front of the tube the rest of the night. You wake up and do it all again. Bring some diversity into your life. Bring some joy in, bring something different. So stop down and see me.
Yeah, because, and it's taken me a long time to learn this, to really just step back and just, appreciate that flower right there, or just, wow, the sun feels really good today, and to add the arts into that, I wholeheartedly, if I'm
in music.
Yes. Like I said, I produce and DJ as well. And if I'm having a bad day, I'll just jump on the turntables or jump on the keyboard and jam out. Yeah. So very therapeutic. And so I love everything else, or everything you're doing. Allison, is there anything else you'd like to add? Phone number.
Oh, yeah. Phone number 724-986-0815. My email address is allison@washarts.design. And
you're on Facebook.
I'm on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram.
Ooh, we got them all here. Look out. Nice.
On Instagram, it's washarts15301.
Nice, nice. What about TikTok?
You know, I think it's just Wash Arts, but if
Okay.
not, it would also be Wash Arts 15301.
Gotcha, gotcha. And Facebook, all you gotta do is type in Wash Arts, and I'm sure people can find you. So awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Allison. I look forward to working with you more.
Me as well.
Look forward to seeing Wash Arts continue to thrive, get more people here downtown, give them safe, fun avenues to really express themselves and, meet new people, make new connections in life.
Yeah, in April, we are going to do like an arty speed dating type of thing. So
Wait,
I got that all figured out yet.
Okay, all right. Because I was
Yeah.
about to ask, I'm like, wait a second, I gotta hear more about this.
Yeah, we don't have all the particulars figured out yet, but it's definitely in the works for sometime in April.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And thank you for tuning in. Again, like, follow, share America Period. And we continue to explore all of downtown Washington and really the county in southwestern Pennsylvania. Once again, another great gem here in the heart of the county, Wash Arts.